Good afternoon, welcome to Deep Thoughts While Driving. Me, myself, and I here. Without for the rainy drive to work today is OverWorked Spouses. I say that because my wife is going to go pick up the babysitter in the next 20 minutes or so. She'll pick him up, bring him to our house. She'll end up making, I think my son picked grilled cheese. Anyhow, so I work at 4, she works at 5. She'll work till about 2, probably 2:30 at night tonight, and then come home. So she'll be home between 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then Saturday she works noon to 2 a.m. Well, probably about 2:30, which is about 14.5-hour shift. The reason she's doing this is because she's covering for a co-worker. She's covering her shift. She's doing her regular shift and covering for a co-worker who is doing a bowling tournament. And then Sunday she's covering for the co-worker again from 9:30 till 2. So tomorrow she's going to get 4 hours of double overtime. I'm basically not going to see her this weekend because if she's not at work, she's going to be in bed sleeping. She's working on her day off to cover for the co-worker. And all she had to do was say, no, I can't do it. And then the co-worker would not be able to do the bowling tournament, and she would actually have to stay in town and do her job instead of going to Williams Lake for the bowling tournament. Which is funny because this is the same co-worker that was off for a while because she hurt her shoulder, an old injury, re-injured her shoulder and caused numbness down into her leg. So she was having difficulties. But then she came and did bowling for her league, even though she couldn't go and do her day job at the bowling alley. Yeah, with the old manager, this co-worker would never try this load of garbage, but she is, knowing that my wife will be the nice one and just cover her shift, even though she's working herself into the ground. I think it's a load of crap. I'm not very happy about it. It is a self-inflicted wound for my wife when all she had to do was say, no, it's too much, I can't do it. Her employer is not happy because, well, she's going to get doing a 14-hour shift, so 8 hours at straight time, 2 hours at time and a half, and 4 hours at double time, instead of having 2 employees working at straight time. So they're going to be paying, and it's not just that they're paying a lot of money out to one person for all the double overtime, but it's also overworking somebody when it's absolutely not necessary. So yeah, it's not cool. Me, I'm just going to work for my regular shift, and traffic is heavy today. Don't know why. If I get home and my son is still awake, if he's awake, I get to take the babysitter home. If not, my wife is off at midnight, and she will come home, pick up the babysitter, take him home, then go back to work, and the young ladies that she was working with, she'll drive them home because she's a nice person. And they normally would take the bus, but buses don't run that late. So I love my job for the simple reason I'm guaranteed 32 hours a week, working for a union. So I've got a nice, safe, secure job. The union protects me. The employer is great. I've got benefits, and I make a pretty decent wage, the highest wage I've ever made in my entire life, to be honest. So I'm pretty happy with it. And if they need, and around my wife's work schedule, which doesn't happen lately, I can pick up another 8-hour shift and be at 40 hours and count that as bonus. Itchy nose. trim my mustache, I think. It's tickling into my nose. Hair's tickling my nose. So, there's that. But my wife, they want her to be working. They got her scheduled for basically 32 to 36 hours. And then because she works for 7 hours, then there's usually an hour of cleanup afterwards before everybody's done. And ever get a really itchy nose for no reason? I'm having one of those days. So that would give her 8 hours and get her to 40 hours. 32 hours, I think she's scheduled as, or knowing that she ends up having to put in the extra time. That's just kind of the way it works. But as it is, she has 11 shifts in her, well, she's working 6 days straight right now is what it's going to be. She'll be working 6 days straight. And she'll be over 100 hours for the pay period so far. That's not counting whatever else she ends up having to do extra and over. But if she doesn't do any extra hours other than this messed up weekend, she'll be at basically 100 hours in a 2-week time period. That, 15-day time period, whatever. 1st to the 15th to the end of the month. But yeah, that's pretty messed up. She's already burning herself out. She's been bringing home she makes about $5 an hour less, $4 to $5 an hour less than I do. And her last 2 paychecks have already been bigger than mine. Which is seriously saying something. She's been putting in so many extra hours. Even at her working her 40-hour weeks at her pay rate, not doing any extra, but just working, 80 hours in a time period like she's supposed to, no more, she should not be bringing home more money than I do. She should be bringing home about $200 less than I do. If I work my 32 hours and she works 40 hours a week, no extras, she should be bringing home $200 less. She's been bringing home almost $150 to $200 more than I do consistently for the past 2 pay periods, and definitely for the next pay period as well. She's going to be bringing home more money than I do, making $5 an hour less than I do. So unless I pick up an extra shift or have training, she shouldn't be making more money than me. So if I do pick up an extra shift to do training, I can, with her extra hours, I'm be equal to her, which is insane. A $5 an hour pay difference. She's making 15, almost $16 an hour, and I'm making just over 20. Yeah. Alright, I'm done ranting and raving. Take her easy, have a good one. Catch you later.